Welcome to another episode of Ivery Inspires TV. And I'm here again with my friend Elise.
Hello.
So we're back.
We are back.
We're back for another week. Now last week, if you remember, you can go back and look at the video, but last week we talked about spring cleaning and your mindset. Just getting your mind wrapped around, I gotta take everything out of my closet and separate and divide and give away and keep. So we were talking about that, and we also made it a spiritual thing as well. What are some habits or some behaviors that are not really helping me advance, and how can I spring clean those as well? So we talked about mindsets, and you can go back and look at the video on that. But this week, we're talking about something else. We're talking about getting help. Because if you have a house, a closet, or anything, and you're moving stuff around, you're gonna want more than just you doing it. You're gonna want somebody else doing it. So Elise, you talked about your spring cleaning.
I have been doing a lot of spring cleaning recently, and the other day my husband helped me a lot. I said, we just poured our morning coffee. It actually was 6:30 in the morning, right before work, but I knew we had about a half an hour.
Yeah.
And I said, honey, I just, if we could just walk around room by room and take out any items in that room that aren't working for us. I inherited a lot of knickknacks recently since my parents moved into a retirement home, and it just didn't feel like home to me anymore. So we just went with our coffee and we just put stuff into the hall that we didn't like, and we went room by room by room, and that got me going. So I needed that kind of help, and it was just a little light thing, but it got the juices going.
It got the juices going, yeah. So that's what getting help looks like. It looks like just getting someone, like she said, she had her husband to help, or getting the kids to help. It might have to bribe them, but getting the kids to help you.
I had my daughter help me, in the closet. So if in the closet, I'll hold up an item and I'll be like, okay, because now we're the same size. So I say, are we gonna wear this or no? And she'll be like, no, mom, that's so yesterday.
Yeah.
And then we know that gets put on the bed, and we go item by item by item by item, until I can just take a big pile, put it in the car, and then my husband's like, what are you giving away? Why? I like that on you. No, bring it back in. So
sometimes getting help and
it's good,
having
or
others
not so good.
are not so good. So you just depend. So you have to pick your people pretty carefully.
I think family's good to help because they know you, like sisters, children, husband, they know you, they love you. I think a really good friend can help. Or sometimes you might have something kind of so messy, you might want to go with someone that you actually hire, like a college student or a high school student that needs to make some money, or somebody who can lift things.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
If it's really messy. But anyway.
So that's what our episode is going to be about. So we're going to show you and talk about how you can get help in your spring cleaning. Mm-hmm. So that kind of helps you breathe a little bit, because you feel like, oh, this is so overwhelming for me. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't have to be, because you can have people come help you. I had Elise come help me, so you can have people that you trust come help you. So that's
a good point. So how do you know when you need help? How do you know that it's not something you can just do yourself? What are the things?
Well, you know when you need help when it gets to be too much. When anxiety starts to come in and you feel like overwhelmed, and you look at it and you're like, no, I'm not doing this, and close the door. Okay, you need to get someone else to come help you. And they actually have professional people that are professional organizers.
Oh, that's nice.
And they come in and do a lot of the heavy lifting and help you kind of map it out. So that's why you really need to get help when it becomes overwhelming. Mm-hmm. When you're just about to lose it and just forget the whole thing. That's when let's bring in some support. Let's bring in a support team to help me with this. So.
I like the point about getting a professional or or a relative or a friend or someone that you don't know, if it's something that's kind of embarrassing, So
Right. So it just depends on what you're cleaning, and especially if you're trying to develop a system. We talked about that last week, developing a system that will help you stay cleaned up. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to have spring cleaning and then you're back in a mess in the next, season. Right. No, we're talking about someone that can come in and help you to just organize yourself.
So how do you do that? Do you just call or go through the phone book, or do you just look up online?
Now for me, I can be a private person at times. So I would probably have my dad, me and my dad live together, so I would probably have my dad Like, what do you think about this? And I love what you said about the item by item, because that is the way a lot of experts do it. They go item by item. When's the last time you wore this? If it's been over so many years, then it's gone. You know, and you just have to have, like for me, I would have to have somebody I really trust to come. I just couldn't pick maybe a random person. Maybe a professional I could do, but for me, because I want to make a day of it, so I want friends, and we can just have like, you know, coffee or tea and just go through items and talk about it.
I had someone help me with my art closet, all my art supplies, and she had all the art books lined up, all the paints lined up, everything looked beautiful, and now I can enjoy the art closet versus going in there and feeling kind of depressed about it.
Right.
So it's really helpful to have help. Even if you're working with them, or if you just leave them alone and they do it, you know, and you go do something else. But.
Right. Because the lady that had, I watched a video about this, and the lady actually had a professional come in, and they went through it item by item, and then she left her alone. And then when she came back, everything was by color, from dark to light.
Wow.
Shoes were by height, and she was just able to come in and breathe. Because she felt kind of the same way you did. She came in her closet when it wasn't organized and just felt depressed and down about it. But now she can feel uplifted. So that's another good thing and another benefit of spring cleaning. It can actually lift your spirits.
It sounds like it's something we need to do on a regular basis.
Yes.
Not just once a year, it gets out of hand.
Yeah.
So how do you work that into your life? I mean, how do you work this whole process into your daily life?
Well, what you have to do, I found that you have to set dates. You know, you have to set a start date, you have to set an end date. And then you have to be very specific about, I'm going to do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 a.m. to 1. And keep that commitment, keep that accountability.
Like a habit. Really?
So a habit,
yeah.
Right. And so you would do this if you say, okay, spring cleaning, as we know, it's not happening in one day or 1 week. So you may say for the next 3 months, I'm going to do from April to whenever, and I'm going to start at this date, and at this time I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm going to spend so many hours with it.
Then you have a system going.
Then
like
you have
that.
a system.
That's a system.
Yeah. So then you begin to develop a new normal.
So what do you think about how this plays into, I know where you always like to talk about, is like your own inner life.
Right.
And cleaning out your inner life.
Yeah. So what this helps is sometimes life can just get overwhelming. Sometimes life and just, you need someone to come in who's able to be on the outside looking into your situation to help you think through things. If you find yourself continually hitting a wall and you seem, or you're going around a mountain and you can't seem to break from it, when you're in it, you may be too close to it. So you need someone that you trust to come in and say, okay, I see why you're bumping up against this wall because you have a habit of doing this. And they can say it in a very nice, beautiful way. But you need that person to come in and say, I see where you could do this differently. And then as they come in, you're able to see what you couldn't see before. Because a lot of times we put blinders on and we don't even understand why we're going around the same mountain again. But somebody else coming in can look at it and say, if you would change this, then you could advance.
Or sometimes they just listen to you. And
right.
Then, how do you find people like that though? People who have the wisdom to listen and then discern what might need changing in your life. How do you find a friend like that?
Well, that can be kind of difficult to find. If you have, so you have to find someone who knows you. I mean, when I say know you, like for me, it would be my dad. My dad knows me, you know, and he knows my tendencies and he knows my behavior. So he can say, well, I see you do this often, or I've seen you do this for years. Right. And this is where you can change. So it has to be somebody who's really close to you, someone who knows you and they know your tendencies, and you feel safe with them. You need to find somebody you feel safe with. You may even have to go to a professional, a doctor or something, and sit down and say, okay, this is what I'm going through, and they can see it from a different angle. But you need to find either that close friend that will tell you the truth, or that parent, or if you can't talk to your parent, maybe find someone, a professional counselor, or even a minister at your church that you feel safe with. So today we've been talking about just getting help with your spring cleaning. and how you can do that and who you can talk to and who you can reach out to. And I do want to encourage everyone to just, for the challenge for this week, just kind of be mindful of who's around you and see if you can find that person that, oh, I can tell them this, or I can say this to them and they won't judge me, but they'll actually help me to kind of spring clean my inner life. So my challenge this week is just to think about, or just write a couple of names down of people that you think my mom could help, my pastor could help, maybe a professional counselor. But if you feel like I'm hitting this brick wall, I'm going around the same mountain, how can I get help to spring clean my life? And just look at some people that are close to you who know you that may be able to help you. So thank you for joining me and Elise. Thank you for being on another episode with us. And we will continue our conversation about spring cleaning. Don't miss out. Tune in and please subscribe and hit the bell on the bottom so that you will know when the next episode will be.